Alright, so this is the VEVOR 4 gallon per minute, 4400 PSI pressure washer. I finally got it outside today and I got my extra parts in, so I'm going to be getting some gas and oil in there, starting it up. As well, I'm going to be installing the external bypass, which I bought this off of Amazon. And then I got the PSI gauge, so that way I could regulate how much pressure I want from the pressure washer. And then you also got to regulate this to be a little bit lower, so that way when you let off the the sprayer, it could actually bypass the water. Instead of circulating in the pump, it would actually circulate out of this hose and keep the pump cooler, essentially giving less wear and tear on your pump. All right, let's get to it. So this is my first gas unit. All my previous units were electric and nowhere near as powerful. I'm not sure if this is a common standard in the industry, but there is a oil dipstick on this side and then just a cap on that side. They both say oil on them. I'm not sure, just wondering if anybody could fill me in on the purpose of that. I read the entire manual, searched videos. As we know, I'm the second person on YouTube with this pressure washer doing videos following up for you guys. Yeah, feel free to shoot me tips. And like, follow, and subscribe. I'm almost set up. I got the oil ready to go in there. Got the gas right there. Hose already hooked up. Let's get it. All right, so now the oil is in there. I will be pulling this out, checking the dipstick. I only used 1 quart, which is what is supposedly supposed to be used. Let's see what the dipstick says. All right, so I thought I was recording while I was inserting the oil. I wasn't. This is the oil I used, 10W30. This was about $8 on Amazon. I think it was free shipping. This is only 1 quart. This engine needs around 1.1 to 1.2, so I'd highly recommend 2. And at least if you buy 2, the next bottle you buy, you would still have that extra bottle to top off that extra 0.1 or 0.2. Has great reviews, highly recommended. We're gonna see how good it does. Step 2 is the gas in the tank. So this is actually pretty cool. When you remove the fuel cap, there's actually, I thought this was like some sort of filter, which it is. See if I can zoom in there for you guys. So it is a filter, but it's also a fuel level to let you know your fuel level when you're filling it up. So I'll show you guys after it's full. All right, guys, so actually this is, so I thought it was a level that comes up with the fuel as it fills. I don't think it comes up though, but if you look close, you can actually see all the sediment that this is catching. So props to VEVOR for, thinking about this and having a nice filter to catch anything that could possibly contaminate your gas tank and your fuel, which could lead to a lot more problems down the road. And here's a better view. So I definitely will recommend purchasing a new gas tank specifically for this, and make sure it's a nozzle that can bend so it's not as difficult when filling it up, because this, if you have a bad back, can be a real pain, just saying. Alright, so as we can see, gas is topped off. There is a lot of sediment in there, so I'm actually going to pull this filter out. I'm not going to put it back in yet, but I'm going to pull it out and go rinse it off, let it dry off before putting it back in, and let's keep this show going. So I do have the gas in, I have the oil in, the hose is hooked up. The only thing to do now is to fire it up. Now I'm recording off iPhone 15 Pro Max, so I don't think you guys are going to be able to hear me once this is fired up. I will show the process and stuff like that as well. I took off my turbo nozzle so that way it could flush the system, because I'm not sure what was in this ball valve, but some sort of lubrication, and I'd want to get that out so that way it doesn't clog my tip. And we're just going to get this show on the road. So this is a PSI gauge. I will be installing this between the regulator and the hose. This is going to show me that the pressure washer is indeed at 4400 PSI. Then I will be fine-tuning it to go down to around 3800, and my bypass regulator will be set to around 35, because there's no reason to be pressure washing at 4400 PSI with cold water. It's honestly a complete liability. All right, guys, pressure washer's running. Check this out, 4400 PSI. No, I'm just kidding. I actually just hooked up the PSI gauge. Please make sure the water is turned off before unplugging that hose. Otherwise, it would be a mess. And as you can see, there's water already everywhere. Now, to the starting process. Alright, now for the starting process, you have your engine speed, which is this lever right here. Obviously, we're going to want that all the way up. Run like a rabbit. And we got our choke, which is right here. So we're going to actually turn the choke on. Make sure the fuel's on as well. You don't want the fuel off. I believe we're ready. I'm kind of nervous. This is my first time starting it, and you guys are going to see what it's like. Quick reminder, whenever you turn on the pressure washer of this size and you don't have an external bypass, please keep in mind that you must run your gun at least every minute. Run your spray at least every minute and 30 seconds to 2 minutes. You don't really want to go longer than that because you will overheat the pump and mess the pressure washer up, or the pump, and pumps are pretty expensive. You don't want to go through that. All right, guys, here we go. Oh man, that was not it. All right. I got my fuel on. Choke is on. Water's on. Alright, yeah, I gotta put some oomph into it. Alright, turn the engine speed down a little bit. It doesn't have to run like a rabbit. It's going, it wants to start. Alright. I'm gonna put the camera down, figure out what it is, and get this started. Give me a second. Alright guys, so sometimes in life you move too fast and you just gotta slow down, take your time, because then you miss critical things. I showed you guys everything on the front of the engine. I forgot the engine off and on switch, which is now turned on. At first I thought it could possibly be bad gas, but there was just a hurricane not that long ago and we have relatively fresh fuel. So with everything being ready now, should start right up. And we're gonna go for it. First thing first, I'm actually I'm gonna flush water through the system, even though I have already without the pressure. I'm also do it with the pressure, just in case there's anything still in there. And I'm gonna check out the PSI as well on the gauge, which I will be showing you guys. And we're just gonna go from there. All right. I'm probably about 10, maybe like 15 feet away from the fence. There's no tip on this. I just want to show you guys how I'm actually flushing the system. I forgot the filters over there drying. I just wet it all up. Pretty cool. will say, this turbo nozzle has more kick than some of your bigger firearms. Look. Alright guys, I will say I am extremely happy. Tested out the turbo nozzle. Obviously I flushed the system for quite some time. This was almost like a little test patch that I did just to see, you know, the power of the turbo nozzle, which this is the correct one. It's rated for 4 gallons per minute. It did a good job. These little dots that you see right there are going to be a little bit more difficult to get. The surface washer, the surface cleaner might be able to get them. The problem is that when you don't have a gutter, erosion is caused by the rain runoff of the roof, making low spots. So it makes it a little bit more difficult to get into the groove, which I really don't understand how, but we're going to figure it out over time. I'm new to this. I'm letting you guys take the journey with me. The pressure washer is amazing. I noticed as I was doing the PSI gauge, quite sometimes, you know, because you're supposed to hit the trigger, let it go, hit the trigger, let it go, hit the trigger, let it go. You'll see what your PSI is running at. This was actually running at about, well, every time I hit the trigger, it would be at around 4,100. Now it's sitting at 42 with it off and pressure into it, but it is still full of pressure. The way to remove the pressure from this gauge to reset it, because I still have to install my external regulator, I have to pop this off, make sure you turn off the water first, and you have to release this little nipple piece to release the pressure from there. So that's next, and then I might be pulling out my surface washer to actually do this. I just don't have the bleach to post-treat it, so if there is lines, you know, I'm not really too proud of it, but this is a residence of mine. Not to worry about it. I can post-treat it at any time or redo it. This was painted a long time ago. Started coming off. Out of my control. Can't really beautify the paint part, but definitely can get rid of a lot of the algae that was growing here. You can actually see that line already where the runoff is causing erosion in the concrete. You can actually see it along this side as well. So this is just stuff that you want to document when you're doing a client's house, just so, you know, kind of cover your butt, I would say. And it's damage as well as this. They could say, oh, you pressure washed my house, but it was really from the chair. You see what I'm saying? So just document before doing any job, because you don't ever want to get blamed and then your insurance goes up, they rob you, or they rob the insurance company doing a fraudulent claim. You know, you just don't want none of that. So always document everything, even like it's stuff like this. You know, I hit that with the turbo nozzle just to see the power of it and what it could do. It's pretty powerful, man. Like I said, that has more recoil than a lot of firearms that I've shot back in the day. Another thing that you would want to document, you know, just definitely want to take your time walking the property, doing a pre-inspection, just so you can kind of have an idea of all the damage beforehand and any concerns you can bring up with the customer prior to or after to. You know what I'm saying? Almost like this as well right here. It's kind of like a groove in the concrete. Like I said, you gotta look at the line that is caused by the runoff. Just look at all this algae. This is pressure washing heaven right here. You would actually want to pre-treat this with a cool 4%. See what it does. Probably go up to 6 if you wanted to. Let it dwell. Don't let it dry. Get your surface washer out. Run it. Make sure you rinse it off. Post-treat. Call it a day. I might actually do that today if I'm feeling like it. I just wanted to get this video out the way, showing you guys my setup and how does it run. This is my first time running this, and like I said, man, listen, for under $600, this is amazing. Like, this is actually one of my first setups ever, and I did this under $1,500. I might have to do a parts video showing you guys how easy and how cheap this actually is to get into. If you have a truck, yes, it'll be this cheap. If you have a trailer, yes, it'll be this cheap. If not, that's an expense that has to be added on. Yes, this can be thrown in the bed of a truck and you get yourself a nice 100-foot garden hose like me, possibly 200, and get yourself a 100-foot pressure washing hose and pressure hose, and you know, you'll be good. You don't have to lift it in and out the truck. Get you some rims off, or you can lift it, hurt your back a little bit. It's all up to you. So now I'm actually going to install my external bypass regulator, check the pressure on that, fine tune that, and go from there. Like I said, I see it was running at about 41, 4200. The highest I seen was 41. Now it's sitting at 42. So I'm actually going to set the bypass regulator to work at, I'm at 42. I'll put it at around 39, so that way it's not much of a pressure loss, and hopefully still runs efficiently. And we will go from there. All right, I'll show you guys this in a second. All right, so this is my external bypass. It would not fit with the hose on this side, so I had to flip it to come out this side. Pretty simple, quick connect. Comes like this. I think it was like $70 something on Amazon. Well worth it though if you don't want to mess up your pump, like I said. So pretty much how this works is when you're not, so when this isn't installed, obviously the water has nowhere to go, so it just recirculates in the pump, cause overheating, and could cause the pump to fail. When you install this, it actually has a bypass, so that way the water has somewhere to go, and the water could actually keep circulating out of the pump instead of sitting in. So a setup like this, you could actually run into a buffer tank to keep your buffer tank full and keep topping it off, or in my current situation, just allow it to drain into the grass. All right, so now I have my external bypass set up. That's pretty much it. I'll pull the trigger, see where the PSI is at. It's rated for 4,400 PSI, so 4,500 PSI, so it's well within this pressure washer's use. And it's simple. You either twist this way or this way to increase or decrease. It actually says it up top. So I will be fine tuning this and show you guys how it works. So I was wondering why I was reading 4,200 PSI. I thought it could be because that's the way it was tuned at the factory. But then again, I remembered I'm using a turbo now, so I'm not sure if that could kind of decrease the pressure in a way. And that's what I did on the test instead of using one of these tips right here. Not really sure if that's the cause of it or not, or if it just needed to be cranked up a little bit, or I could have turned it a little bit, who knows. Now I'm going to be setting up the secondary pressure regulator, the external pressure regulator, and we're going to see how that goes right now. All right, so water's on, choke is already set on, it should be hot enough to run. Gas is still on. Let me not forget to turn this on right here, and hopefully we get a first full start. Everything's hooked up. All right, let's see. basically when I pull the trigger, alright, so when I pull the trigger, that should stop. Alright guys, honestly, this setup couldn't have been better for me. This is like honestly the cheapest 4-gallon per minute pressure washer that you guys could purchase. I took the risk, did it for everyone, and I'm gonna keep you guys updated through the process. As you can see, the external bypass regulator runs magnificent. I have a 18-inch Miko surface cleaner as well, and I'm pretty happy, so I'm gonna end up surface washing this. This was a little test patch that I did with the turbo nozzle just to get an idea of what this should look like after it's cleaned. So I think we're gonna have a good result. I'm gonna treat it as if it's a client, and first thing first, we're gonna pull out all the weeds. Now if I was doing a house wash, you know, this would be ideal. Get rid of the algae on the side, make sure you document the paint and stuff so they don't blame that on you. But we're only doing a surface cleaning today, so you only have to worry about the ground. You want to document the runoff lines, as I said, because you don't want them to blame you and possibly say you etched their concrete or anything like that. Those lines might disappear. I doubt they're not. They might stand out a little bit. We're going to see when this is actually complete. Yeah, and just like I said, document any possible damage that's here already, just so the customer can't file a fraudulent insurance claim on you and possibly 1-star rating and stuff like that. You always want to cover your butt when it comes to this type of stuff. I think I mentioned this earlier in the video. So like I said, I'm gonna start pulling out these weeds and turn back on the water, crank up the pressure washer, remove the PSI gauge, put that up, and we're gonna blast this all off, clean this whole surface real quick, hook up to the surface cleaner. I'll give you guys some clips of me actually using it as well. Then I'm gonna show you the end result, and we're gonna be wrapping this video up. It doesn't get better than this, man. It doesn't. All right, as I said, the weeds are out. I pulled out pretty much as I could. I mean, these micro ones, I'd probably be here all day trying to pull these out. If I did this, like I missed this one right here, so I could come back and grab that little one out. But yeah, these micro ones is just going to be a little bit more time consuming, and as we know in this game, time is money, money is time. Next, hook up the pressure washer, set everything up. Let's get this show on the road. All right, so water's on, got the ball valve off. Make sure the engine starting switch is on. And my goal is, instead of having to use the turbo nozzle to actually blast this off, I want to see if my ball valve will be capable of doing itself. So that's going to be where we're at with it. It has pretty good pressure, but I want to see what it's like kind of blasting, because I see people who use their ball valve almost as a turbo nozzle in a way and clear stuff off. So hopefully I can do the same with the smaller unit. Those people are probably using 8 gallons per minute. We're going to see. Let's get to it. Hopefully first pull we start up. Let's test this out. It's been good to me so far. All right, second one's a go. Uh-oh. Got it on. Once the pressure builds up, I want to see if water is going to end up coming out. Right now my ball valve is closed, so I don't think there's no pressure in the hose, which is what's causing it. So once when I release the ball valve, now that there's pressure, my ball valve hasn't picked up a lot yet. Now when I turn this off, I mean, it's not the best type of pressure. But this is definitely going to be easier blasting off with the turbo nozzle. Maybe for using after a rinse, this is more ideal to rinse off your dirt and grime and stuff, but for this fluid pressure, it's not really too ideal. It's not that high pressure. This is the corner I gotta clean out right here. So I just wanted to show you guys. I'm actually going to switch to the turbo nozzle now, give that a go, and blast right through this real quick, get this out the way, blast this off, and I'll show you guys the surface cleaner on top. Alright, I'm doing this one-handed, but I'll just show you how much of a game changer this is. Never want to be too close, always keep your distance. But man, the power on this is just unmatchable. Unmatchable. I'm actually cutting in, so I'm actually going to cut it out now on the walls, and we're going to go about it. I'll show you the after results. Alright guys, got the surface cleaner hooked up. It's hard to do it one hand, so I'll have to show you guys the process. It's gonna look magnificent. soon. I'm gonna get a tripod and I'll show you guys me actually doing the work. This is so impressive. Stay tuned. I'll show you the end result. Alright guys, so for my first time using a surface washer, I love the results. I mean, obviously I didn't have bleach and to pre-treat or post-treat. I mean, I'm pretty sure that could have changed the result as well. But for what it came out, I'm very excited for the journey ahead of me. You know what I'm saying? Because this right here grew the confidence within me to know I could confidently step to a customer and go, you know, I could definitely do your driveway and show you amazing results. You know what I'm saying? This right here wasn't kind of the best, I guess, to do on YouTube. This was like my little testing area. This pad has been painted and all this stuff before, so it's a little bit more difficult to really see the results of how good this came out. There is some dark spots and stuff like that, but that happens because the gutter, there is no gutter. So what happens is there's runoff that comes and it causes erosion on the runoff line. It makes a line and these specks come from it. There's nothing you can do about it. So be sure to set customer expectations. But as far as this machine right here, I mean, it doesn't get better than this. At $565, it came out to 600 and some change. I'm less than 1,000 into my build. Now, say if I got me a trailer and a buffer tank and stuff like that, I'm fully up and running and can confidently do people's driveways and back patios and stuff like that and show actually great results. Please stay tuned. I am the second person on YouTube with this pressure washer, and it really doesn't get better than this. For as cheap as it was and the trouble that I probably really expected, virtually none. I mean, you've seen the little issue in the beginning of the video. I thought it wasn't starting and I was about to be really upset, but come to find out it was just a simple fix and I was moving too fast. I got the external regulator set up. That's working as it should. The valve is sticking correctly. Everything's doing what it should do. Like I said, it doesn't really get better than this. Let me turn the fuel off. I'm happy, guys, and this is the stuff that I want you guys to do, and this is why I want you guys to take this journey with me, because you can see how I'm growing confidence in myself, and this is something that you can do also. It isn't expensive as people make it out to be, saying, oh, they'll get you a 2.5 gallon to start off with and you spend $600-700 on a 2.5 gallon when you could have got a 4 gallon 4400 psi. Don't sell yourself short. This has 12-month warranty. Don't be scared to take the risk. You know, this right here is ideally for starting off with, and you're gonna make the money back like this. You're gonna, as hard as you go is what you're gonna make out of it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad you guys stay tuned. Watch the video. When this dries, I'll take some more pictures of it. I mean, there's not really much to show besides the fact that all the algae was removed from over here. Came out really great. Like I said, I'm really excited with it. See, this right here is kind of a little greenish still. Probably with some bleach, you know what I'm saying, that would have made a difference within this. And like, I just don't have the bleach right now. I will have it for when I do my driveway, because I'm a post-treat and pre-treat and post-treat the driveway. So this is going to be great. Thank you for watching. Please like, follow, and subscribe. There's so much more coming in my next videos. I mean, like I said, this is the start of my journey for Snyder's Prestige Care, which is a family business, and I'm pretty much the brains of it all. And it's gonna be quite the journey, and soon you're gonna see me live at customers' house doing this type of work, showing you guys amazing results, showing you guys that you can do this too. There's enough houses for everyone to pressure wash. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like cutting grass in a way. But stay tuned, man. Like, follow, and subscribe, and thanks for watching. All right, guys, so I came back outside, gave it some time to dry. Just want to show you guys the after look of everything. The certain spots still look a little dark on video, and that's just because the camera, being such a good camera, picks up the dark spots. In person, it's virtually gone. I'm very happy with the final result, as in using this as a practice pad. Like I said, VEVOR products I highly recommend. And like I said, this is just the beginning. There's so much more to come from Snyder's Prestige Care, and hopefully you guys stay along and ride this journey out with me. Like, follow, and subscribe.